My content creation process is disorganized. We have ideas in Notion, scripts in Google Docs, links in Telegram, communication to and from that actually isn't required, and there's also a time zone difference. So you can imagine there's a lot of delays and a lot of overhead when it comes to time and effort that could be prevented by having a proper system in place. So today, we're going to build a system for a content creation dashboard that gives insights 24/7 about where we are with different types of content. We have an agent, probably, that actually is able to give reminders and that we can give information to. So we're going to do that with Airtable, maybe NNN, maybe Telegram, maybe some more stuff. I'll have to see where it goes. This is a build in public type of video, so I also don't know where we're gonna go with this. Now, before we even touch Airtable, let's use my framework to figure out and design the functions and features first, and then also architect the entire technical design, and then we start touching Airtable and implementing stuff. So over here is my AI architecture framework that I use to build, design, and deliver solutions to clients. You can find out more about this in the previous videos and also in the school community. So let's get into it. So the process is, first of all, ideation, then there's scripting, then there is recording, then we have editing, and then we have publishing. And this is for YouTube and for school, kind of, I would say. There are some differences between both of these. Let me guess. And let me check. That's kind of the main process. And then for me, I am part of these to a degree. And for my editor, could also be part of this and that, and then that, and then he publishes. All right. That is the current process. Now, what are our current bottlenecks, right? So we have no overview. I don't know what is being edited currently. I don't know how many recordings are left currently, which is an issue. Communication. So we're kind of over communicating because of this, because we don't really need to communicate. We can just find it in a system somewhere, preferably. There can be delays, whether it's delay of information from either or both sides, or delay of just the whole process. We don't have any insights in turnaround time. So with that, I mean the time it takes from ideating until the actual publishing, right? Whether it's on school or YouTube. So we don't know if it takes, 1 day from an idea to actually publishing it, or whether it takes 7 days, or it takes 2 weeks, whatever. So we do need that. So then also, we don't have any KPIs, and we need KPIs to know how we're doing as a business, or as as a business, I suppose. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So no KPIs currently are some of the issues. Now, if I had to map this according to other data points, right? So over here, it of course says follow the data start from finish. So I gotta map this out a bit because I haven't done that yet, right? So we start with, we want to make a piece of content, I guess. Piece of content. That's the start of the process. Then we have to ideate. Usually this is like a page in Notion of like ideas we have in our backlog. Could also be a message in Telegram or like an idea one of us has. That's about it for ideate. Yeah, everything's basically in Notion for that. Then we go to scripting. So we take one of the ideas and make a script out of it. So scripting is usually a Google Doc or also a Notion page. Yeah, that's about it. And I guess I also use the drawing for this. So I guess also drawing, because it would be nice to also have that in Airtable to be found back in our database. Then we get to recording. Now for this, there is going to be a screen recording and there's going to be a camera recording. And for this, we use currently Mega. Could also be Google Drive. And that's that. And then it goes to editing, and then it goes to publishing. Well, for these two don't really matter because those are already optimized to the degree that they can be. So it's mostly going to be about these 3 steps, I would say, of the whole process. Right? So we got Notion, we got Telegram, Google Docs, so Google Drive as well. The drawing needs to be in Airtable too at some point, and we got that. So this is kind of the process right now, right? The process as it is, we have now kind of really simply described. Can do it way more advanced, of course, but this is kind of the whole process in general. And then the end, it should be video posted, whether it is in YouTube or in school. So bottlenecks, we've also figured them out. Are there any more to this? Well, it's just a lot of it's very decentralized currently, which is not great. That's the main takeaway, I would say, decentralized. Cool. So now we need to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with the requirements? So with the features, what does it actually have? So it would need to have links to everything, whether it's the script, whether it's the recordings, whether it's the drawing. And then we also have to have the overview. Now, what does that mean? We need to be able to see the status of every piece of content. We need to see the turnaround time somehow. What else do we need? What else? I guess we got links to everything. Also, I guess notes is somewhere in Airtable would be nice as well, because it'll be a one source of truth. And we'd also probably, and this is more like off development, but we should also change the way we change Notion and Google, because with this new system, we also need to make some changes to how we use Notion Google by then in comparison to how we're using it now. Because right now, we're using it as like standalone systems of their own, but we need to be able to be like, okay, we have, one main Notion page, multiple sub pages, each has like another 2 layers of sub pages. But when we actually have it in Airtable, we can also optimize the way we have it in Notion right now to make it work together really nicely. Same goes for Google Docs and our Google Drive folders, for example. So let me check. That's good. Then, so changes, I would say. Overview, stays around time, notes, links to everything. Need to be able to assign people, and all of that. Now we go to the technical design. So we're going to be using Airtable for this. Why? Because you can have up to 5 editors for free, because I like being lean when it comes to the business. So then we need some tables. What do we need? Well, first we will need an ID, and this is going to be for videos. Then we will need recording links. No, wait, not yet. We will have a start time of some kind. Start. Then we have also a publishing time. So that's the end time, really, just so we can track the time, the turnaround time. Then we have notes, I would say, just for any miscellaneous notes. So then we need to communicate over Telegram a lot less, right? Then we have, of course, status. So that can be ideate, edit, record. Well, actually, no. It should be more so about, just for, simpler language and clear communication, should be like to record, which means that we have to record this. To edit. I guess you would also have something like editing, because it can take a bit of time depending on the raw footage. Then we have to publish, and to script would also be a smart one. To script, this should be kind of it for the status. So overview, status, turnaround time, notes, links to everything. Assign, yes. So then I guess who would be one? Or just, I guess, more professional, assigned to. And then they're supposed to change the status when they're done. Then I guess it would also be good to have like an ETA. So expected time of arrival, which means when do we expect to have this done? So if it's in ToScript, ETA, or like deadline, maybe deadline is a better way to put it. Deadline, well, I guess, because as long as our system, deadline. So deadline is for actually the current, say, status. Because the editing and the publishing, well, I guess you for everything. So I guess deadline for now. Fuck it. What else? Links to everything. So as mentioned, so then we need the script. Well, we need the idea, perhaps, one way to put it. Yes, the drawing, but I guess you could upload that, to be fair. So drawing. We also send other stuff to in Telegram, which could be part of the notes, I would say. Drawing. Oh yeah, and of course, link to recording. So link to recording. Because as mentioned, because we are making this system, we also probably have to change some other things that are not part of this, part of Airtable specifically, but also part of how we deal with files and other stuff. Because I have 2 files per recording for a certain topic, maybe 3 sometimes. I forgot some stuff, or 4 for that matter. So you would have to need, I suppose, in Drive or Mega. Well, let's take Drive, I suppose. In Drive, you would have the main personal brand folder, and would you have a system where it's done by month, and then the actual topic? So topic A, topic B. And then in this folder, you would have the actual file. But if you do by month, because if at the end of this month, I make a new folder for this topic, but then editor might miss it because we're now in the next month, so he might have not noticed that. So that would not be smart. So it shouldn't be by month necessarily. So it should not be like that. Because in Google Drive, you can sort by modified, perhaps. That could do the trick. Then again, because Google Drive was only used for me to upload and for editor to download. That's it. That's the only function it has. So you can just have the files and give the correct give both files the same name because they're different file types, and then have them sorted by date modified. So it's still overseeable. Date modified. That will be one way to do it. That'll make sense. Then we have to link to the actual files, which you can also just link to one folder. I think that's actually fine, because if it's in Google Drive like this, we can have an N8N automation that will send a notification in Telegram, new file added, so people get notified of it. That could be a thing. But think about this long term. Let's say we're 6 months in or a year in. That one folder is getting quite big because it's quite a lot of files. So that will be the next problem you would be dealing with. So then you'd probably have a different folder in there as well in the same place that's called downloaded, perhaps downloaded folder. So it's a bunch of files and one folder in there that says downloaded. And then the editor is supposed to throw it in here once it's downloaded, or have a Telegram agent do it, perhaps AI in that sense. So then long term, it won't get that bloated. And then later on, you can always, subdivide this into the months, for example, for better management or organization. But for now, I think this is fine. So files in one place, and then also in the same place, you have one downloaded folder. So this makes sense. So the link to the recording is just always going to be the same. Yeah, so you can just give it a default. So it's always going to be same link. Cool. What else do we need? Everything. So we got the script idea, drawing, recording. What else? Nope, that's about it. Start time, publishing time. We would of course also have a last modified. We'd have a created at, and we would also have and animations with the assigned to and automation to message in Telegram to the person to assign. Yeah, that could be a thing. So maybe also end with that Telegram in this case, because we all use Telegram pretty actively, so that we make it even more low cost or like low effort to use. What else? So Notion, Google. So Google we changed now basically, right? Because Mega, I don't think Mega has an API, do they? Mega API. I don't think they have one. So they're literally saying, we don't recommend using the API directly due to our end-to-end encryption paradigm. Okay. So just a lot of headache in general, I would say. So Google Drive would be better to use in future, which is fair enough. Okay. So then from Mega, there will be no automations, and I think I have it running for like another month or so. So then we don't need to use Google Drive for that, but that comes later because it's gonna be next month or so. Cool. So that's gonna be for next month. So a follow-up video probably. Then, well, don't need to make a follow-up video because it's pretty simple, but let me check. Okay, so that's going to be our main way of doing it. Solid. What else? Airtable, yep. And it end maybe. Telegram maybe. Okay, cool. Do I need another table? Because this will be the videos table, which will take care of all of this part. Maybe have the ideas and ideation also in Airtable in a separate table with link to a Google Doc or a link to other place. Maybe. But for now, because I want to keep it simple, so like, MVP wise, I want to keep it as minimal as possible. What it does the work. So maybe that's about it for now. Or maybe that actually suffices already. Cool. All right. So now I can start building an Airtable.